It's recording.
There we go.
But that's gonna be better, I'm sure.
So we do the pledge of allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Okay, Mayor Westberg.
Yes.
Moeller.
Yes.
Reese.
Yeah.
Thomas.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Here.
Okay, everybody has a list of projects, priorities.
Okay.
Oh, before we start, has anybody talked to Kay about the little post she wants to put out there with the
Dropbox.
Dropbox?
I haven't
She'd like
had a
to have-
chance.
She
I
would
know I
like
need
us to,
to,
yeah, she would
but
like
I-
us to put it back on there.
Right.
Just the other night, they got 16 last night, put their stuff in there. People come up to her and complain, not to us. She just thinks for $800 we ought to put a little deposit box out front. And she'd
So
like.
is that gonna take the parking place out there?
No, it'll just be off the sidewalk on the grass. They get out of the car, they put it in, they don't have to walk through the
So
snow.
there really ain't no much advantage to it.
Well, they don't like walking across the uneven grass, and, I mean, they're the ones that complain to Kay, not to us.
Yeah.
And she thought for a $6 million budget, for $800 to make a few people happy would be a good thing. Anyway, she would ask that we put that back in the budget.
I'd like to see a drive up, if there's any way sometime we could do that, but that's not gonna be convenient for Kay,
Oh, no,
because
no.
you'd have to put it out here somewhere.
Yeah, and we've never figured out how to do
But
that.
I'm just saying that if you want something the public really will like, they will like that. But-
Well, she thinks over 100 would like this.
Well, that could be.
You know, and,
I haven't talked to her yet either.
no. Anyway, give it some thought. I told her you guys would be calling, and she would tell you that she thinks it's really important. Okay.
All right, so here we are tonight for our planning and goal setting session. No real agenda for tonight, you know, as far as, we'll go through some of these projects and that type of stuff, but if you have any things, specific things that you want to get discussed tonight, tonight's a great night to do that. And really, you know, thinking big picture, we're thinking about priorities and where you want to see the city go, not just in the next year, because a lot of that stuff kind of falls into place already. But this is more thinking 1, 2, 3, 4 years down the line, you know. What are some priority issues that we'd be working at long term? So, first thing that I would like to do is we'll go ahead and talk through this a little bit about the capital projects and explain that to you a little bit. First of all, the big box at the top, that these projects that were already in the planning stages, they're not included in this list. So I know there's lots of interest in those projects that are being done, but everything's kind of in the works on those, so it wasn't even included as far as priorities. Then for the list itself here, what we have is, so everybody went and filled out their survey, and based upon your answers, ranking things, giving each one a ranking of 1 to 5, 1 being lowest and 5 being highest. Then I went ahead and put this into a spreadsheet based on everybody's response, and then you can compute the average off of that, and that is just the mathematical average. So if somebody didn't answer a question, and there's several of them where they chose not to answer, that still affects the average, and we'll talk a little bit about that, because you know this some of the results look kind of strange, then maybe have higher or lower response, a higher or lower average based upon the number of responses. But I'm just going to highlight a few of the things, and then we'll talk about some of the things I guess I wanted to get highlighted. But when you have an issue come up that you'd like to either speak in favor of or against, please make sure that you do. Okay? Top of the list, new residential subdivision, and I know that's come up as a bigger issue here recently. You see, most everybody then had that as a top priority, or as a rating that of 5. That'll be one of the things specifically I'd like to talk about a little bit later, you know, as far as how the city might participate in housing projects in general.
Where would they even put something like that?
We, you know, I got some ideas, you know, as far as
Well,
properties that we could work
Stocks.
with, but Stocks is one of them. Yeah,
Motel's got the dirt. Otherwise we have to go west, up here by Rich Schultz ground.
It'd be nice to see on this side of the highway. I think.
oh, on this side of the highway? Yeah, I
Well,
think so
On
too.
top, you know, so the residential wouldn't have to go on the other side of the,
Yeah, I guess I haven't really
no,
considered anything north of the highway either.
no.
No, not north of there. But north of the motel's got ground, stock popcorn on the hill.
The motel ground is already even platted out.
Yeah.
I have a map on that somewhere.
It's platted for larger commercial lots.
But I thought
So
there
it
were,
would take
are you
some
sure? Isn't there
Yeah.
some other? I thought there was some other lots. I thought they had part of that. Someone gave me that.
It's platted, like I said, it's platted, it's just platted out into, say there's 5 or 6 bigger lots there.
I think I saw
I've
something on
seen
that
a
too.
map that had residential housing platted there. I know I have. I'm gonna dig through my,
But look at Dean
Archives.
Tiefenthaler's ground, he can't sell them lots, can he? So is that because of
No, and
drainage?
why
Why
can't
can't he
he?
sell them?
Because he filled all that in, I think is the reason to say.
I mean, there's places for
He
people to
owns
buy
a ton
lots.
of lot.
well, I think you can build there, but you can't have a basement.
No, he can't, but none of the homes that part of the
There's,
lake have
yeah, there's
basements.
a lot of them that have their basements.
Well, there, Dean he's even real willing to finance it, I mean.
Yeah,
you know.
I know, but Glidden built one, took 20 years to sell all the lots. Reed's
Oh,
sold,
yeah.
and they've sold part of their lots, but it'll take years, so if we did it somewhere, it's gonna take a long time to get our,
It's,
Without
it's a long
it's a
range.
long-term deal, so.
It's not a habitable.
But, but this is an opportunity for TIF, and you're gonna
Right.
lose your TIF money, and you're
Right.
not ever gonna have that kind of TIF money again. Am I right? That's what I think.
Yeah, you know, and that's a fair statement, because we're coming to the end of the life of that application.
I just think it'd be a shame not to use the TIF for something that you have a little vision for.
Because we could gain possession of the ground with the TIF money, then we could
Exactly.
maybe be more open to.
And then you have all kinds of options.
Right.
You can have a developer, you know, I mean, there's all kinds of things I think you
But
can
we should
do.
use the TIF for a good project.
Anyway, did you wanna talk about that later?
Yes, because I've got a bunch of other stuff to talk about on that then
Okay.
too.
All right.
Lake Improvement Project, of course, always ranks very high. And, yeah, I just always struggle with the question, is there anything that the city wouldn't do to participate in the Lake Improvement Project? And I don't know what that is until it reaches a certain dollar amount, you know, because we certainly want to be a really good partner in
Buying a
anything
dredge.
going on there.
Buying a dredge. Like storm ranks.
You know,
How to use one.
How to use one, yeah,
Even new ones break down.
yep.
Third thing done, I want to talk this a little bit, see everybody's ideas of what this could be. Nuisances or improving the appearance of neighborhoods. Is this something more than what we're currently doing?
Well, Hometown Pride, you know, at one time that was one of their kind of projects was, you know, some kind of assistance to homeowners to improve the looks of their property.
Right.
I don't know if much has come out of that or it kind of got tabled.
Not much.
I got tabled with the other stuff.
And I wrote that down on my note here about paint, because we had briefly discussed some projects, you know, about would Hometown Pride take the lead on identifying some people who would need assistance in painting their homes.
Right.
And there's lots of interest in doing that, and we can come up with some paint and, you know,
I think it's
the
coming up
financial
with the
side of
help
that,
to do it.
it's not nearly as bad as
Well,
coming up with help.
Yeah.
I think it should be a Hometown Pride spearheaded project. And then the city in cooperation with the men's club, you know, maybe, I mean, that's what I
That would work
think.
best that
Yeah,
way, yes.
I think the Hometown Pride is a perfect example of what they're about.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know, but you need a cooperative effort in order to manpower, funding, whatever.
The manpower is the big.
But I
Because you
I
could
sure would
certainly
like
apply
to,
for that
you know,
grant.
and then,
Should
but
get
that's
paint.
not really your nuisance properties per se, is it? I mean,
Not
that's not
necessarily, you know.
always
No.
the same.
You know, there are some homes that really need to be painted, and that could help out the neighborhood. But
That's a tough deal, you know, when people own the property, that's a,
Well, some
How
of
do you
them
know?
would probably like the help. I mean, not all of them, but some of them might be receptive to that. You can't force them.
that's what I mean.
we do have property maintenance code about when things really fall into disrepair,
We got a couple of those.
that we could mandate things be done, and like we've been trying to work with John's neighbor across the street off that property maintenance
Yeah.
code, and had mixed results on that.
Yeah, and the Vine Street.
Does anybody live there?
I don't think full time, no.
No, okay.
And once in a while, there's somebody there, but not all the time.
But it's truly an eyesore.
Yes, yep. And we're working with the one on Vine Street, that looks like they've kind of slowed up now, but
Really?
they've really slowed up, and
Did
whoever
they do
he's
break
been-
that window?
It's harder
there?
in the winter though to
Oh,
do
yeah.
that kind of stuff, you know, it really is.
It is, but Bryce and I went through the alley between the road up here and just the city property. We went down that alley, and I told him that the property's got some stuff back there, so he's working on those. So that, we just don't go away in the winter, but we still go after people. But we try to go easy first and ask them to clean it up.
Well, that one clear by the viaduct there, that's
Yeah.
getting worse.
Yes, yep,
I can even see it from the bus.
yes.
But if you had some, you know, when you, and you know, it's kind of hard to hold everyone to the same, so I don't know if I'm thinking quite right, but if you had something you could offer, you know, we've come to you, we think your property, you know, however you would word it, but we have this available and this available to assist you. You know, I don't know, whether it be you can apply for a grant, or we've got committees that will come in and help paint, or I don't know, I just
getting
think
that
there's
word out,
a
I
way.
think, is a lot, because then people are made aware of it, and then they would say, okay, yeah, maybe I could do
Well,
something like that.
and
we-
maybe
we've offered
they-
people,
yeah.
we'll come and haul it away for you if that's
It's
what it takes.
something, you know,
Yeah.
you could have a cleanup day or whatever, but I mean, I just think it's the way you approach people, instead of coming at them, your place looks awful,
Yeah.
come at them with, we'd like to help you.
Otherwise, they take offense to it.
Sure they do.
Well, right now, we're working on washer and dryers in the back and junk and some old boat that's covered by some stuff that's been there for years. It's-
When you use that word nuisance, that gets everybody upset.
It does. There are a few.
Well, but it maybe ought to just improve appearance of the neighborhood instead of nuisance, you know, that's, you know, like you say, that upsets people to,
Oh, yeah.
I still like the idea of doing, like a yard of the month or something, you know, or it's just a sign, but it's in recognition that someone's,
Do you know what they did in Scranton? They hauled a toilet around, you know, and you got yard of the month.
Really?
Yeah, they did, yeah, they had a city thing, they had a lot of fun with it, you
Oh.
know, yeah. Anyway,
And that was a good thing or a bad?
I guess it ended up to be a good thing.
Was it a good thing, that's what you wanted?
If you had the toilet in your yard,
Yeah,
Paint it blue.
like the
couldn't
pink,
make it work the other
like
way.
the pink flamingo, right?
Yeah, blue.
Banner blue.
But nuisance is kind of a legal term, really, I mean, for problems.
Yep. The next one I wanted to talk about was Camp Crescent improvements, and just highlighting that notion about 70 amp electric. Camp Crescent improvements ranks very high, and people really like the idea of doing that improvement project, which we're still plan on doing. It'd likely be this fall, but we'll plan on doing that. May explore this idea of going to 70 amp services, and which is huge, you know, compared to what a basic RV site is a 30 amp service. And whenever we've upgraded anything over the past 10 years at least, we put in 50 amp services.
So what are those new pads that you put in for the bigger ones, what are they?
50s.
50s.
Yeah.
What's the cost difference between 50 and 70?
I don't know. It's, you know, it would cost a little bit, I'm sure, but I don't know that it's dramatic.
And so would you charge more then for that space?
Yeah, you know, we charge $2 more for a 50 amp over a 30 amp.
That's not very much. I
Because we
mean,
have issues down there. Electricians were there a lot of times in the weekends doing something. it seems
on the
like.
50s.
On the 30s, 50, well, they'll tell you they're on
Probably more
30.
likely on the 30, that they're
Yeah.
overloading
30s,
the 30.
They're
they're
overloading the
overloading
30s. They'll buy a 30 and then overload it, then they blow up. and start
Especially with
to
air
go.
conditioning, I would
Well, I
say.
just think if you're looking at the future, you're probably looking at 70s.
One of
I
the-
mean, I sat in on the park board meeting because I showed up so early. So I sat in on the park board meeting and Ruth said, you know, she's got people that are requesting that, right? Or wanting that.
Can we put
Getting
money
some.
aside and replace 10 or 15 of them now?
But just the main thing to know for sure is that I think we should look at this when we upgrade those electric services in
Oh,
the
yeah.
sites we're gonna do.
Well, there's no sense putting 50s if we know they want 70s.
Well, it would,
down the
yeah, but it
road.
would be nice to have a cost analysis.
Yep,
Are
I'm
there
sure.
some 30s, are some 30s needed?
Or get rid of
Can
some
you
of the
upgrade
30s.
to 50s without changing all the wiring then, I wonder?
You can't, you basically replace the pedestal, is what you do.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because, you know, when you look at a 50 amp one, you know, they all have special outlets for what's what. So you can use your 30 amp camper on a 50 amp, but either you need to have adapter, or it goes 50 amp breaker, 30 amp breaker, 110.
Oh,
And, you know, so you just choose the one.
How many
that
50
you
ones
need.
do we have down there?
I don't know a number, but I'm gonna tell you, you know, we have 40 or 50 sites like that.
Being as it's important, maybe we ought to put some in there and get some 70s put in.
It would,
Section.
certainly would hurt to-
Like I say, if we want 70, this one section's already been converted. We switched the boxes this spring and.
Let's see where it goes.
but even, isn't it too, also, the more amps there's, the less electricity there, because the don't pull, it's hard on them.
Yeah,
You know, it won't pull, the load pulls a lot easier though. I mean,
Well, I guess I don't know. I do know that, you know, it's,
Yeah,
they have more electrical draw than what the 50 amp would, you know. They're just drawing, sucking more
well, yeah,
juice.
that's what I mean, yeah. If you have 50 instead of 30, you'd be probably better off anyway.
A lot of these campers too, don't they have the microwaves in them now and the
Oh,
more like.
yeah.
Oh, sure, you
big
know,
air conditioners going.
Yeah.
They've got
They get,
everything
you know,
in them
with-
anymore.
My
They'll have two air
nephew's has got a
conditioners.
French door refrigerator in there, dishwasher.
dishwashers, that some of them have washer and dryer.
Yeah, they have that too. They live in it. I mean, that's what they live in.
Okay, this concept of community and tourism marketing, just interested in your comments on what we do now versus what you'd like to see done in the future. Just as far as how we market our community. You know, so we look at our website and our online presence is important. But we do some print advertising yet, and we really work through the community club to do that. The community club will be at the next meeting to make their budget request, and it'll be about the same, where they would ask for about $4,200 worth of funds to be used for marketing, and that's for print marketing, and basically print marketing is where most of it goes to.
Well, the website, I mean, I'm sure you have, I don't know, the website certainly needs a lot of money spent on it.
That should be a priority.
Yes, it should.
'Cause that'll-
That's where the young people are.
And that's what's gonna get you out further than any print that you put out there, I think. I mean,
You know, and the website we have now is just so limited and, you
And,
know.
you know, that's
I-
just kind of funny over the years that we had that thing, however many years ago we built it, and it's a nice website, it looks really good.
It
But,
looks good, but it doesn't function very
yeah,
well.
functionality is not really good.
It had
And-
2015 banner, I said to John, can't you change that?
Well, we
No, we
could-
had to pay to upgrade it, oh, for
Yeah.
Pete's sake, so.
But if we go up to the handheld one, you can change that, we can make it so we can go in the back door and fix things.
Exactly.
We might have to pay a little more than 5,000.
I think so too.
But I think that's a big deal to get
I
that
think it's
switched.
crucial.
that's helps
The sooner we do
generate,
it, the better, cause they're gonna start logging in campground sites,
Well,
people make their plans.
Right,
like I said, the campground helps generate revenue, that's,
Yes, it does.
yeah.
and that's, you gotta get the.
They wanna be able to get in there and see a good calendar, they wanna be able to
Well, that's
see
just
the event.
a
You
correct
pick on
calendar.
current events and it takes you to
And
nothing
they pick
really.
their sites right from the site, the
So-
website.
Because,
Competition's out there for it, that's,
Mhm.
that's, you're competing for that dollar, you know.
Next time you go to eat somewhere, watch how many people sit down and take their phones out.
oh, yeah,
They give-
we all do that.
You
That's
know,
terrible.
the younger people, I mean, it's just totally different. They don't,
When we travel, we do that.
Yeah,
It's like, where's the nearest place to eat, or where's the nearest gas station
Right,
coming up, you
right.
know?
Or who's got
You're
free
always-
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you're always looking for something.
Right. But the sooner we get that website fixed, I think the better off we'll be.
cause my kids stream, that's all they do is stream, so.
So is, anything ever, like the one time they was talking about going further north with, bike trail, is anything ever becoming of that?
Sac City's trying to
Sac
work on
City's
Sac City
kinda
would
working
like
on
to.
that.
Okay,
And they have an active trails committee up at SAC.
oh, yeah,
And that's one of their goals. They kind of have a two-pronged purpose up there, that they work around bicycling within the community, and they've been working on a street plan up there for certain routes for biking, and I think they've had real good success with implementing a lot of that stuff. And then they sure would love to get a trail from Zach down to Lakeview.
mm-hmm.
Of course, that's a
But I
huge
think-
undertaking.
but
and they-
I thought I understood that what they're kind of looking at is a path alongside the road, I mean, just to widen,
That would
which is
be
not
an
very,
option.
I mean, that's not,
Very good, no.
it's not gonna be near as good, but, you know, it all goes back to that land was let go back to the,
Railroad, right?
yeah,
Or the
so
farmers.
they don't have that, which is, again, you go back to someone whenever that didn't have any vision and,
and
But most of that's gotten bought now.
well, that's true, and the government is not able to condemn land for trails purposes anymore. There's no incentive for the private landowner to, you can't force incentive on the private landowner, you know.
right,
You-
So it's
they
gonna be
either
tough
gotta
for
work with
them.
on that,
Yeah,
so.
that's
It'll be
really
tough for them.
too bad though, because it'd be so nice to
Yeah,
have
it
one
would.
going up
See,
that
ours-
direction and then maybe over.
Well, like
Maybe
that,
over
we
towards
bought that
Storm Lake
25
or-
years ago already. The railroad on our, property.
Did it?
Yeah,
I suppose.
so why was it decided that the southern part of Sac County was gonna keep their right of way and the northern part did not? I mean, how,
You know
is
what, I
that,
don't
was
know.
that I mean, the communities had to be involved some way, cause it certainly wasn't a county-wide thing, I mean,
but they had a chance to,
I don't know.
maybe it's just because not as many people bought it. Is it, like here, they wouldn't have bought it as easy because there was no value of to farm it like there probably was. Say, once you pull the fence out and the railroad track, you could farm the ground.
Yeah.
Um,
I know some of the ones on the south fought in court and lost.
Yeah,
They tried to.
It was,
I think there was a group of people that wanted to keep that.
I know Darrell didn't. They went to court to try to get
Yeah.
back.
yeah, because they didn't
They
want
lost.
people there, I remember that.
Oh, yeah, that's what he kept telling me for years. He was against most everything.
No.
He just didn't want that trail cutting through.
Yeah,
If
that's
it was
right.
cutting through a 80-acre field, if you were a farmer, you'd want that whole 80 acres, you wouldn't want to give it back.
So,
But if the railroad was already there, I mean,
Yeah.
what difference does it make? But-
Yeah,
So I think what saved most of that going to Breda was the fact that there was creek running alongside of it.
oh,
So they didn't gain much
they
by
didn't gain
getting
nothing
to
by
the
getting
city.
it,
Yeah, that's,
yeah.
you're
Yeah.
right, Terry. I think that had a big influence
Yeah.
on it, you got.
Yeah,
And it-
otherwise, that probably wouldn't have been.
Sorry, Lloyd.
and nobody knew that
Yeah.
the trail was gonna be that popular, I don't think.
Well, do you think that maybe they think everybody just right up to the lake anyway, that's where they'd stop?
Yeah.
But people get so disgusted with them going around, them bikes going around the lake. I mean, during the week it ain't so bad, but weekends, people just get, you know,
because there's not an actual
well, because
trail around.
Well, that's why, even if you had one to the side of the road,